Greetings and welcome to another building tutorial. I am Darkling and this of course is Ark Survival Evolved. Today we'll be touching upon tribute signage. A little bit different than what I'd normally build, but I came up with a slight twist on the regular signage, so stick around and I'll be making signage for the Art of Caden, Mazion, Slipgator and Zul'jin, and we'll see how it turns out. So stick around and hopefully you'll learn something. Okay, so as you can see I am in creative mode. I'm going to do this all in creative because I don't see the point in doing it the long way. I'm going to start with the Art of Cadence because this is who the signage was originally made for. So what you're going to do is you're going to lay out a line of foundations. And we're going to overlay with square ones eventually, just to tidy things up. I'll put it on the end one just so you can see where I'm going. That'll be removed. Now I'm not 100% sure how wide the foundations are going to be. Each of these ones that I do in the video is going to be just lay down the foundations and go from there. Okay, so the Art of Caden, he has a nice simple logo. So what we're going to do is make sure the height is right for starters. So I know it's a little bit taller than that. I think that should be okay. I know the glass in front is going to have to be a little bit shorter. Okay. So I'm just going to rearrange my hotbar accordingly. So we're going to need ceilings, we're going to need walls, and we're going to need ramps. Okay, so here we go. First one in. Now, everybody does box signage. It's pretty standard, but this is going to have a slight twist on it because we're not going to see most of it. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's right. I did a quick rough out on paper as to how much space I was going to need for each one. Depending on the logo, depends on how easy this is going to be. Some things are going to look great, some things aren't. It depends on the logo. But if your favorite streamer or YouTuber has a nice easy logo, this will be easier and easier. Okay, let's come down from there. And like I said, this design was actually made for Caden. One day I was sitting there and I thought to myself, hey, I could actually do his logo, and it worked so well. It was almost like it was made to be put in the game. Okay, so there's his basic logo. So the nice K. Now he does have a few things different about his, and the reason I did the outer part in stone is to get a nice contrast, because I'm going to be using a little bit of metal, and hopefully I've got both of them there. That's all fine. Oh, and I need some regular glass walls as well. I might actually put those there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put a line of glass along the front. Now, this is going to be opaque, so you won't be able to see it, obviously. The majority of what we're building here is actually going to be hidden. Oh, that's what I was doing wrong. That wasn't meant to be large, it's meant to be those. Whoops. This can be assembled pretty quickly. As per usual, I'm going to make mistakes. I've never claimed to be a perfect builder, and being a creative, this actually gets a little bit easier. So the Art of Caden has a... oh, actually I'm going to replace that. He has a piece of metal going through the top of his logo. So what I've done there is hopefully going to get it in the right place. There we go. And oh, that should have actually been metal, not glass. Okay, so it doesn't look like all that much at the moment, but we're going to have to do some modeling. And we're going to transparency cycler, models. Start with the models, let's get rid of all those. Now, this is easy enough to do with a lot of logos, like I said. The trick is picking your materials, because the coloring of materials in Ark is pretty limited. It doesn't always come out that great. Ooh, I've got a horrible gap there. I don't like that. Bit of a lag there, must be a server save. So what I'm going to... Oh, did it not? I swore I picked that up. Hitting the wrong button, that's what I'm doing. You're going to give me that? Why aren't you giving me the E for it? Because I have something. Okay. Now I'm just going to try and get that spot. There we go. And now I'm going to change the transparency to opaque. Now it starts to come together once you start doing the modeling and transparency. There we go. That is how you do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim it up and make it a little bit prettier. So what I'm going to do first is just run a line of foundations along the bottom, just to add a little bit of overlay to match the actual sign. Of course it's going to be like this. I normally lay this down first. This time I decided I wasn't going to. Okay, no. Now, most of you know that I don't like doing montages or speed ups or anything like that. If I make screw ups, you get to see my screw ups. It's just the way it goes. I'm not trying to make out as if I'm a perfect builder. I do some pretty big constructions, but as with all things, I still do make mistakes. Now I'm going to go out one extra on that side, and let's just check the other side. I'm going to go one extra on that side as well. So I will need to put in a little bit more glass. I'll have that, thank you. I'll have that. Need another lower row of glass. Now I wasn't going to show you the trimming on this, but the more I think about it, the more I think it's a good idea. Just to give you an idea as to how I like to trim things up. I mean, you could do this in various ways. This is just going to be the way I do it this time round. Some ceilings. Let's put those in that slot. Like I said, it's going to come down to the contrast that you're looking for with the material choice. Some things will look great in stone, some things will look great in metal. It depends on how you're going to trim it. This one comes out quite well in stone. I know it does because I've done it before. And again, we're going to just drop that. If I can get that snap. Oh, I know why it's not. I have not got. Need that one there. Put that in, and I'm going to need one on the other side. Has it got a snap point? Nope. Okay. And of course, the one's on top. I'm really happy with how this turns out. It's like it was made for his logo. Okay, so I'm going to need those again. Bring that across. So I always say to people, when you're making builds like this, always keep your hotbar with the most important stuff at the start, so it's a lot easier to get through. Keeping your hotbar in the right setup is very important when you're building, especially if you're trying to build quickly. Every time I do a recording and forget to rearrange my hotbar because I'm too busy trying to make sure I don't screw things up, it always causes me problems. Now that one's actually not going to be like that, it's just going to be... I screwed that up tonight. Okay, so let's pick those up. So you get that snap. It's not going to let me. Let's make it easier. See, this is the reason why I wanted to make sure I didn't montage or anything like that, because when you're doing things like this and you have screw-ups or issues, a lot of people don't get to see those, and I think it's important that you see how things can go wrong rather than see the perfect scenario. So those are all good. Let's change the model on that to no sides. Grab the transparency from there. Straight away I'll just use the same gun. That's going to be changed, preferably. Of course it's going to do that. There we go. So now we're going to change the model for that. There you go. That is the Art of Caden's streaming logo. Whoa, actually, I've screwed this up. No, it isn't. That is the Art of Caden's streaming logo. Okay, so now we're going to move on to Mazions, and we're going to do the same deal. So I'm going to run a line of foundations along. Again, I'm not 100% sure how long I'm going to need, so I'm going to do a couple extra, hopefully. And I want to set it in a little bit because I do want to trim it and keep some spacing from the previous one. Again, we're going to trim the back with stone. I'm going with stone on this one as well because I know for a fact that I'm going to be using metal for Maz's M. And okay, so I'll need to set that up in the hotbar. Now, I'm not sure how high I need to go on this one, so I will adjust it as I go. Where is my metal? There, and metal ramp. And I'll keep these in the hotbar because I'm going to need to expand most likely. Okay, so I've got my spacing on the side. That's always good. I know I need to go up at least 4. I'm going to come across. No, I'm not going to come across on this, am I? Actually, no, his signage does not come across like that. So I'm going to be winging this a little bit just because it's the way everybody else will hopefully be building it, not just copying what anyone else does. So Maz doesn't have a flat part on the top of his logo. Maz is a great guy. If you haven't checked him out, as with the Art of Caden, if you haven't checked any of them out, Slip, Zul'jin, definitely look them up. They are great guys. Maz, I've had the opportunity to talk to off stream, off camera, and he's as nice off camera as he is on. So his is nice and easy. That's pretty much it. So what I'm going to do is tidy things up a bit. Need some height to trim it, so that's going to be the height there. So like I said, some of these are a lot easier than others. When it comes to things like Zul'jins, that gets a lot more complicated. I'm going to need a bit more length on this, so I'm going to add a couple more of those. I'm going into the beach, which isn't something I'd like to do on a logo like this normally, but it's not going to matter too much. So there's my space for the side. So I need one more foundation. Let's go up to the top. There's many ways you could use this. I've always contemplated using this sort of thing for a wall. It'd be great to have your logo built along a wall. I thought that would be quite cool. Although a wall of your own logo, it might be a little bit vain. Okay, I'm going to need to do the same on the other side. Like I said, these don't really pop until you've put the... Oh, of course it's not going to work like that. I haven't got anything on the back to snap to. There we go, thank you very much. Once you've got something on the back to snap to, this gets a lot easier, but I'm snapping from the side just because I've already got that in place. And it's nice and easy. That, and that, and that. So you can, like I said, trim these up a little bit differently. I'm going with a nice square edge just because I feel like it's going to work. You can mess around. As long as you're covering the foundation edge, you're going to make it look just fine. So I'm going to need some ceilings. So this is the same map that I do all my building tutorials on, and there's also my recorded builds on here. So in the backgrounds you're probably seeing all sorts of things that I've done in the past. I've actually got a row of tech turrets that I put in when I very first started recording here, just so I didn't have to deal with anything encroaching on my build time. Okay. And right behind me is Project Pandora, which is probably partially rendered. Okay, so the difference with Maz's is I'm actually going to paint his. Now I believe he actually uses brick color for his armor, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong, but I tried brick earlier to see what the colors came out like, and it didn't look very good on the metal structures. So I'm going for just plain red. I mean, I could be wrong, you could use regular red. So let's bring that across, let's bring this in. I'm going to find that snap on the front of the try, if I can. There we go. Fine, use that one. Excellent. Just go up a couple more. Now it's going to be a problem again on this piece here, so I'm just going to remove those both ends because no doubt I'm going to have the same problem. So sometimes when you have snapping issues, just remove the part and eliminate the problem. Give me my server save. I think the server saves are a bit close together at the moment. It's a lot easier if you're actually using the large walls. Oh, I really didn't, did I? Of course I did. Thankfully I still have that set up. And give me that snap point, please. Hello. Go. This is the problem with having overlapping snap techniques, is you tend to have a little bit more problem finding the snap when you get close to the edges. It's not always that bad, sometimes it can be really easy. Like I said, with the large walls it does get a lot easier to actually find those spots. Mostly because they're actually kind of like a different material. It doesn't conflict with some of the other stuff around it. Come on. Oh, I can't be bothered messing with this. There we go. Oops. Regular walls, please. Figures his logos are really quick and I'm messing around with the trimmings. Of course I am. If you're watching this, Maz, you can feel my pain, I know you can. Why are you not giving me a snap point? Why are you snapping so? Fine. No, it's that large one again. I've got to stop using that. I swear, if Maz is watching this, he's probably laughing his ass off right now. Okay, let's go on the inside. So I'm basically queuing through these and it's just giving me completely the wrong one. There's so many snap points around here. There we go. Oh boy. Part of me hopes he doesn't watch this. Jesus. Let's get out of here. Ah, is that why it was so easy? God damn it. Oh boy. I shouldn't have trimmed the top of this, that's what I've done wrong. And I see I've done it on the one down the end as well. So what it is I should have trimmed in a different order. I was trying to save myself time and it's ended up costing me time. So learn from my mistakes. So let's remove that, that, and that, and that. There we go. Figures. Okay, let's add in the extra bits. I'm going to link this to Maz and I'm not going to edit that out. Everybody fights with snap points in this game. If you don't, then you must be a genius of some sort. Can I fit in here? I can. Oh, that was the one I wanted. Give it to me. You're not giving it to me. Oh, come on. You said you were going to. Again, all the snap points around here. And this is just the trimming. Let's try it from below. Fine, be like that. If that's how you want to do it. And I'm going to need to drop those down See if it works better from the top. So this is all a learning curve. When you're making stuff like this and you're getting the screw ups, you're learning, I can't build from the bottom, I build from the top. And every time you make a screw up, you'll learn something different about how the building in this game works, and usually quite frustratingly. There is so much about this game, the building mechanics, that it can be a bit of a pain, but you'll get there in the end. What am I looking for? I'm looking for the guns. I gotta admit, there is part of me that's tempted to just remove that. But I won't. See me suffer. And let's face it, we all watch them suffer on stream, so hey, why shouldn't they be able to see us suffer? Pink. A lot of people doing YouTube and recorded videos, they'll edit out the frustrating bits because, you know, makes quicker videos and makes them look better, but I'm not into that. Well, Maz's is pretty basic. I'm not sure how awesome that really looks, but that is Maz's logo in Ark. So I hope you like it, Maz. It's not the best. Maybe you can come up with something better, and if you do, send me a screenshot. Okay, so now we are moving on to Slip's logo. And same process, except hopefully we won't make the same screw ups that I did trimming the last one. Again, we're just going to get a bunch of foundations lined out. I can always trim it if need be. And I'm going to leave that first square one in place just to get the alignment right. And I didn't actually set up my hotbar properly this time, so hopefully I don't have problems with that. The thing I hate is when you get the buttons mixed up and you start mashing all the different ones and you end up cycling through every single building material that you've got in your hotbar, trying to find the one that you need. So Slip's logo I am going to do in stone as well. And that. Now Slip's is actually really basic. Not as basic as Maz's, but definitely pretty basic. So what we're going to do is put that in, and we're going to go up 3. Actually, no we're not. No, we're not. Gonna go across. And I believe it's 4 across I'm gonna need. So I am gonna need a little bit more on the end there. It's fine. It's up 3 there. Well, I don't want to put that in there yet. I am going to... I don't know if I need that height. If I need to change it, I'll change it. Okay, there's going to be 1 gap, and then that's going up 3. Going to go across. Yep. I've not actually seen anything as to what Slip's logo is based on, but it looks like yin and yang. I know where he gets his logo from, where his name comes from. Like me, he's an old Quake player. back in the original Quake days. Okay, so for slips, I'm actually going to do a little bit different. I'm going to fill in the gaps because that's what his logo suits. Now I probably should have trimmed this in metal around the outside for a better contrast. I could still do that. So the logo's in place. I could still do it in metal. So if I was going to do that, I'm going to need some of those. Some of those. Don't have any metal foundations. And we're going to need some walls. I've got a few mods on here, so there's a few random bits of engram. I've slowly been adding to what I have in my engram list just because of servers I've been on and I've saved stuff and built little bits and pieces, so I just sort of keep the same mods on everything. At some point I'm going to have to go through and remove a whole bunch. Okay, so pop that in, let's remove that. I'm not sure how much of an overlap I'm going to get from the stone tries. Hopefully nothing too much. So I'm just going to look up a little bit more. And how far out do I need to go? Probably one more. Oh, I should have... I am missing some. I'm going to go with the same just for now. If it's a problem, I'll replace it. Should be enough. So what I'll do is I'll take that off and I'll make the outside trim like that. Now I'm not going to do the full trim yet because I know from the last logo that caused me problems. So that looks pretty reasonable. I think I can work with what's there. Let's put the glass in. Now it's probably going to be easier because I do believe I'm going to be able to use the large walls on... Let's just put this in a better place in my hotbar. This is really annoying. Like I said, like I always say, keep your hotbar set up properly and this will be a lot easier. I'm getting a little bit of stone come through there. I'm not sure I like that. Remember, you can adjust things on the fly if they don't work for you. Don't feel like everything is literally like this, set in stone. Ooh. Now hopefully these will bust out each time. Damn. Oh, cool. I don't think that actually did the right spot. I'll have to replace the outside piece. Now as you can see, I can't really see. So I'm kind of doing this blind based on experience. There we go. And I'll just need to replace the outside foundation that I had to pick up. Oh, I should have added it to my hotbar, shouldn't I? It happens every single time. And that's one of the reasons why I say make sure your hotbar is set up properly. Okay, so let's go up and put the rest of these down. Shouldn't take too long. Or if you're an idiot like me and place them in random places, maybe it will. Of course it did. I'm going to leave the back side in stone because it doesn't really matter, but I'm going to keep the trim. That's right, that works well. Quite like that. Don't forget the stone in the background, you're not going to see it. So let's do the inside piece. I'm a little out of practice of talking while I'm doing this, so I'm probably not as talkative as I have been in some of my videos, so I do apologize. Real life and all, I haven't had a chance, and in some cases haven't had the motivation. Oops. So I've actually been on stream with a few friends a fair bit lately. We had lots of fun. We don't get a huge amount of viewers, not compared to the guys that I'm like Slipgator. I mean, he gets massive amounts of views. I'm not the streamer myself. I'm just on with friends of mine. It works well. Cool. Let's bring a ceiling across. So those that have been following me for a while, you'll know that I really enjoy building. Ark is a fun game to build in. It has a few issues. Snapping's a little funky on there, but I'm going to pretend I didn't see it. Okay, let's fill these in. I haven't had the pleasure of actually having a conversation with Slip like I have with Maz. He seems like a nice enough dude. If his brother's anything to go by, I would say he's a nice guy as well. I mean, I only see what other viewers see on video or stream. And there we go. So I quite like this technique of doing the overlaps because everybody usually does the boxy kind of designs, but having the glass sitting just behind it changes the depth of it quite nicely and doesn't look quite so boxy. So there you go, there is Slipgators, and we'll move on to Zul'jin next. Okay, so here we go for Zul'jin's. Now, Zul'jin's isn't going to look as awesome as the others might in comparison to his actual logo. Now, I'm saying this because his logo has a lot of shape to it that Ark just simply can't manage. So we're going to do our best and show you what you can come up with, even if it's not perfect. So I'm going a little bit longer on his because to get the shape that I've jotted down, we're just going to need it. I think I might build the backside of this one out of metal, seeing as it's already in my hotbar. It's funny, I keep telling people to update their hotbar and I never update my own when I should. So do as I say, not as I do. How tall is his? Now, I'm not sure how high I need to go on his. I'll just start with this. and we'll go from there. So I'm going to need to rearrange the hotbar again. I think I've got the length okay. Okay, so that's going to be the edge, so I need a trim, so we'll start there. I believe I need to go over 5, so that many. I'm going to come up by 2. Now I had to get a little bit creative when I was designing his one in Ark, because the way the angles work in Ark, it's a little bit funky. Okay, so that's, I'm definitely going to need more height. Hopefully it's going to be the full height, not a little bit less. I'd rather not have to trim it. Okay, so it looks okay. Now I need to work out how far up I need to go. Actually, let's put something in place to make this a little bit easier. So we'll go put that there so I can get the snap point. Now because you're building on the side of a big wall, a lot of the time you can actually just remove sections and everything will stay in place like it should. Okay, I think that's all the height. So I'm gonna have a little bit of an extra on the top, I think. I might have to trim that up. I'd rather not if I can help it. Okay, and I'm gonna need that's gonna be my snap point. Oh bugger. So it didn't stay snapped that time, that's not a problem. I think I had it in the wrong place anyway, maybe? No? Who knows? What it was, I didn't have that touching at the bottom there. Okay, so I definitely didn't need the height. So I'm going to try and trim this. Not something I would normally want to do. You can see Pandora in the background. It's actually rendered in a bit better this time. So if you've never seen any of my builds, I do tend to build pretty big. Oh, come on. Okay, let's snap to the opposite. No, that didn't work. Oh man, I am playing the quick draw game today. Okay, I need to change my angle, that is not working for me. Okay. Okay, those are aligned. So the only Ark I've seen Zul'jin play lately has been as Huckweller on Gunsmoke. I've actually seen him more on other people's streams than I have on his, to be honest. Probably not the best thing to admit on camera. Not when I'm building his logo. I used to watch all the original Pooping Evolved quite a bit. Okay, so let's trim up the. You know, I actually screwed this up. really did. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna have to fix that. How did I screw it up? Well, I built it out of the wrong material. But I'm going to show you that on the fly you can change what you don't like. So I'm just going to get the trimming ready. How far out am I going to be? So let's swap that over because I actually prefer his in stone. Mostly because you can't get a good white, and his logo being white, it would have been ideal, but sadly it couldn't be done. Oh, I've gotten rid of my metal. See, like I said, this is why I don't cut things out usually. You see me screw up, I've screwed up. You see me fix them and see what effort is involved in actually fixing something. Why did that not blow it out? Fine. Of course it is. Actually, I think it sits in a better place. The reason it's not sitting in the right place compared to the other stuff is because of the ramps, I believe. I could be wrong, but I think it snapped to the ramps rather than the back wall like I had it. But to be honest, I think it's actually snapping in a much tidier spot. So that's always nice. Oops. Now, I do believe that Zorgin's logo dictates to be filled in like Slips does. I think it's just going to work better. Whoops. I'm not going to get too frustrated over having to do things like this. If you've done a lot of Ark, you know that there's going to be frustrations in building, and it's just not worth it. Just move on, keep going. It's not a major. Alrighty. We want a metal ceiling across there. So there you go, I've already completed replacing everything that I didn't like. Actually, from here, I think I'll. I'm going to do it the other way around. So sometimes when you want things to snap perfectly, it's easier to layer things in a particular order. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to snap downwards on the top piece. Wow, it's gone dark really quick. That's better. Let's get those in. And I think I'm going to have problems because I just did the sides again like I said last time I shouldn't do. So we'll see what happens. Now, does that stick out through the top? It does stick out through the top. So I may have a few problems with the snapping on this one, like I did on the other ones. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to get as far away as possible to get the snap that I want as close to optimal placing as possible. Because I kind of want to be further away from the bits where it wants to snap. No, I'm just going to pull that one as well. Oh, what? Where'd that go? Oh, never mind. I'm not going to mess around trying to find it. Except now that it's actually wanting to snap there because it's up here. Play musical snap points again. This is very common in Ark. Oh. Still there. Fine. Be that way. Just disassemble the whole damn thing if I have to. So you can tell I'm actually used to having to pull things apart when things don't work. And I don't stress too much, like you'll hear me maybe moan a little bit, but I'm not going to waste my energy actually getting upset over it. It's just one of those things. There we go. Oh, come on. Really? It's always when you just click to place it that it decides, I'm not actually going to show here, I'm going to show somewhere else. Now, if I remember correctly, it was easier snapping down, so let's learn from the mistake I made earlier. Really? Overlapping techniques are always going to give you issues. The more snap points in an area, the more trouble you're going to have. Actually, I think I might leave the bottom overlap out on this one. I quite like the look of that. Okay, now things are going to get interesting. I'm probably going to bust out a few parts here. If I don't, I will be amazed. I'm going to have to get a little bit creative on a couple of these just to get the snaps. Okay, a couple of those snaps should be fine. In here I'm going to have some more problems. So I think it's going to be a matter of just put a couple in. Have I got any slopes? I do not. S plus, please. Okay, let's start with the easy ones. I say easy. Why is that so much different? Flipping one. Alright. Okay, so I'm going to remove that. That's hugely different. Okay. I would say because I replaced some parts, these have gone funky, so I'm going to... Oh, really? Really? Oh, that lower snapped there, which it did not snap to. Did then. Let's get rid of those. Get rid of that now. That's better. I may have the same issue. Nope. Okay, now, is that going to break out? I'll have to flip that one because I'm snapping it to another one. The S Plus ones don't like snapping to the same kind to each other. If that makes sense. So two lefts won't snap together, but you can snap a left and a right. Sometimes that means that you have to flip one of the tiles. Let's go opaque, update. Now it would have been nice to be able to do this with the round blue splatter that he has behind it, but unfortunately I don't think I can actually colour the opaque part of this. Okay, so that is my take on Zul'jin's logo, and oh, I should actually finish this first, shouldn't I? Okay. I'm doing it. I'm ghosting it. Abuse me in the comment sections if you don't like that. I don't care. Really? Wait, it was easier coming down, wasn't it? And I need to replace those. Whoops, that was my fault. Back far enough. Did that do something? It did. It's snapping to the top of the glass. There we go. Does look like it's still missing, but it is in there. I must have got some funny snaps in there. I'm normally a bit more of a perfectionist, but I'm gonna leave it at that. So we've got Zul'jin, Slipgator, Mazion, and the Art of Caden. So if you haven't checked them out, I'll put their links in the description below. Definitely have a look in on them and say hi. I would say 2 out of those 4 will actually know who I am. The first 2 will know who I am. The second 2 probably never heard of me. No matter. So that is my take on Signage and Ark. It's a little bit different than other people's, although at the same time it's quite similar. I hope you like it. I hope you're able to come up with your own twist on it. If you do come up with something, a twist on what I've done, do send me a screenshot. I'd love to see what you've come up with. Remember to like the video if you haven't already, subscribe again if you haven't already, and most importantly, enjoy your building. Take care.